Hi everyone, welcome to Doing Dental School. My name is Kajal Khatri. I am a first-year dental student at Marquette University School of Dentistry, and I created this platform just to create sort of a virtual mentorship where we can all kind of help each other achieve our goals. So if you want to stick around, make sure you hit the subscribe button to just follow along. I give all sorts of free dental tips and then also take you along my entire dental school journey. So if you want to stick around, make sure you subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Today I wanted to go through what you should focus on every single year of your undergrad career. So this is actually something that my undergrad's pre-dental organization would always do. It was one of our first meetings that we would do just to kind of introduce ourselves as the pre-dental organization, but then also just give people a sort of direction on what they should focus on every single year. And especially for people who, I remember that entire meeting was so helpful when I was a freshman because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what being pre-dental meant and what I should focus on every single semester. So it was really helpful for that. So I thought it would be helpful to just share some similar information with all of you to help you guys understand what you should be focusing on every single year. Now, with all of that being said, this video is definitely geared towards people who are as an undergrad right now are studying and maybe plan to go to dental school right after undergrad or maybe a few years after. But I realize that there are a lot of people who have a very non-traditional path and this is not the path that they're on. This, however, is how I applied to dental school, so it's what I can speak on. So I just wanted to kind of like put that out there and make sure you guys know that this is something that is geared a little bit more towards the people who are undergrads right now. Okay, so starting out with freshman year. This is super exciting because you are just coming into college and what you should be focusing on is your grades. And I know it's really overwhelming to come to college and see all of these people doing crazy things and seeing the older pre-dental students who are applying and doing all of these things that you're like, wow, how am I gonna get there? But just take a deep breath and focus on grades because you want to have a good foundation during your freshman year of all of your grades so that you can focus on all of that other stuff later. So really focus on grades your freshman year, really get a groove of how you like studying and, getting a grasp on some of those basic concepts that honestly you will learn again in dental school and they are applicable even though it might not seem like it. So just really focus on your classes, and if you do have some extra time, look into maybe getting a campus job or what extracurriculars do you want to be involved with, or maybe like if you know of any shadowing opportunities or anything like that. But don't feel pressured to do any of that. If you can only handle your grades freshman year, just handle your grades. Do not worry about all of these other things that will come with time, I promise. Okay, so now moving on to your summer after your freshman year. So this is a really good time to get a grasp for the dental profession. So I know at least during the school year for me, I never shadowed during the school year because I didn't find the time. There wasn't a dental office that was really close to Marquette that I felt comfortable going to. And so I basically spent all of my summers shadowing. And I found a dentist that was close to my house and I would go there almost every day and I would just shadow and I would get a grasp of what dentistry is like and making sure that this is actually something I want to do for the rest of my life. So that's what I really spent my summer after my freshman year doing. I would also recommend just finding your passion and doing that. Get involved. Like if there was something as an extracurricular that you found that you really want to get involved with, do some prep work over the summer. If you are really passionate about maybe like knitting or art or an instrument, like spend time doing that because this is your time to kind of decompress. And this is also stuff that you can put on your application as well. Dental schools really love seeing like manual dexterity and making sure that you can use your hands. They want to see that you have interests outside of dental school and just outside of school in general. So they want to make sure that you are just taking time to enjoy your passions and taking time to really get to know the dental profession. Okay, so now moving on to your sophomore year, and I'm sorry that the lighting is really weird. They're redoing the roof in my apartment, so there are people literally like flying over my building. But I would say sophomore year, I think, is the hardest. I found it to be the most difficult because it kind of was like a wake-up call of like, okay, this isn't Gen Bio anymore. These are upper level science classes, and these are really difficult classes. That's when I took organic chemistry, and it was difficult. So really focus on your grades. And I know I said that for freshman year, but on top of grades, also find things outside of classes that you're passionate about. So whether that be extracurriculars, get really involved, get a leadership position in one of your extracurricular activities, or maybe find a job that you're really passionate about. Something that I started my sophomore year was volunteering. So I found a dental clinic that was really close to my campus, and I went there every other week, and I would volunteer in a dental clinic. I know a lot of my friends did kind of a similar thing. The other thing also is maybe if you want to get involved in research, that isn't something that I personally did, but undergrad research is a really great way to get involved as well and kind of show dental schools that you do something outside of just school as well. And so, just getting involved in something outside of classes is probably a good idea during your sophomore year. This will really build up your application and show dental schools that you have passions outside of school. The other thing also is during your sophomore year, start researching DAT resources. You don't have to, but this is again, if you have some extra time, find some time to look over some DAT resources, especially if you're going to be taking the DAT that summer. Really just, I don't know, keep your eyes and ears open. I'm sure that a lot of older pre-dental students will tell you some resources that are really helpful. So just keep your eyes and ears open of if you hear anything of some good DAT resources that you would be able to use that summer. Okay, so speaking of summer, now we're at sophomore year summer. Think about taking the DAT during this time. This is when I took the DAT, and I am so thankful that I took it over the summer. I didn't have to worry about balancing classes and studying for the DAT at the same time, which was really nice. So think about it. You don't have to, obviously. I know so many people who took the DAT during the school year and did totally fine. Even people who took the DAT senior year. You can do it, but I would highly recommend looking over and seeing if you can take the DAT this summer. It's really nice having 3 whole months to just study and take it at the end of the summer, and you'll probably never have 3 whole months again to study. So think about it, especially if you have all of the classes that you need to take the DAT. And even if you don't, personally, I didn't take biochem before I took the DAT, even though it was on the DAT, and I did fine. So just an idea of looking and seeing if you can take the DAT during this summer after your sophomore year. But aside from that, also, whether you are taking the DAT or not, continue what you did last summer. So keep shadowing, keep volunteering, keep doing extracurriculars, keep doing your passions. So just keep doing all of the stuff that you did the summer before, because this is the time where you have extra time to do stuff. As I said, I didn't shadow during the school year, but I shadowed over the summer, and that's where I got all of my shadowing experience. That's where I really got to know the dental profession and made sure that I knew that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So this is where it starts to get a little hairy. I'm gonna say that this is your junior year / maybe your senior year if you're taking a gap year, or kind of just like, I don't know, a year before you plan to apply to dental school. So during this time, again, focus on grades. And I'm gonna say that literally for every year, because grades are overall very important, and it's what's gonna get you, it's kind of like your first glance at what a dental school will see when they look at your application. So that's kind of something that you need to keep up every single year. But aside from that, I would say start thinking about letters of recommendation. So this is something I know personally, especially when you have a lot of science classes that are really big classes, it's hard to get to know professors. So I'd highly recommend start going to office hours if you don't feel close enough to any of your professors, or maybe see if you can apply for a research position in one of your professor's labs, something like that, so that you can have an idea of who is going to write your letters of recommendation. Additionally, I would say start researching where you want to apply and what you're looking for in a dental school. So obviously every single dental school is very different. Although you will come out with the same degree, whether that be a DMD or a DDS, you every dental school is different, and they're going to offer you different things. They're going to offer you different programs and different opportunities. And so look into that. Figure out what you're looking for in a dental school, whether that be you're looking for something that's really, really clinical based, or something that is very service based or very research based. Look into that. Figure out what kind of dental schools you're looking for and what dental schools you might want to apply to. So we're getting near the end, but we're gonna call this your summer after your junior year, maybe summer after your senior year if you're taking a gap year, or even the summer after a gap year. The summer that you're gonna apply is what we're gonna call this. And essentially, first you need to finalize what schools you're going to apply to. So what schools and how many schools. Hopefully you have a good idea and a good grasp of what you are looking for in a dental school at this point. So figure out where you want to apply and then apply. So, and I know that's way easier said than done. It's easy for me to be like, yeah, just apply. Okay, there's a lot of steps. So we're gonna make it an ADSES account, which is the program that you use to apply to dental school. It's all of the dental schools use this, I think, except for the Texas schools, but double check on that one. And you will create an account, and then there's a soft opening and a hard opening. So the soft opening is when you can fill out your application but you can't submit it yet, and then the hard opening is when you can actually submit it. And so you want to apply as early as possible. Seriously, like I applied I think 2 days after it opened. Just apply really, really early, because the sooner you get your name and your application in front of a dental school, the sooner that they can give you an interview. So that is what you're gonna focus on all of the summer. And once you're done applying, I know that a lot of people will finish their application and submit it during like June. So the rest of the summer, enjoy, first of all, because you've already applied to dental school. And also make sure you kind of are doing a little bit of interview prep. I know it's really hard because you just got through so much stuff and this is like your first break, but try to look at interview stuff, but honestly, just like relax and take a break for a bit. And then lastly, we get to either your senior year or maybe, you know, during your gap year when you're waiting, do a lot of interview prep. Do practice interviews, practice with your mom, practice with your dad, practice with your dog. Find other pre-dental friends that you can practice with who will give you honest feedback as well. That's really, really important for someone to actually give you feedback that's helpful and not just say you're good. So do a lot of interview prep. Also make sure you have the funds and the time set aside for interviews. I personally interviewed during COVID, so I didn't have to travel, but I know a lot of my friends had to travel who are older than me for all of their interviews, and that does get expensive. So make sure you have the time and the funds set aside. And then, as I've said every single year, make sure you're doing well in school. Make sure you really focus. I don't know, just take those upper level classes, really soak it in, because also dental school is really hard. And so this is going to be your last chance to kind of take some of the classes that you really want to before you start dental school and before you kind of get into the grit of dental school. That is all I have for you today. Hopefully this was helpful in giving you just a broad overview of what you should be focusing on every single year. I know I didn't really go into depth of some of the topics, and I do have videos that I've previously made of me going really, really in depth on some of the concepts that I mentioned. But if there's something that you particularly want more information on, definitely let me know, because I would love to make a video about it. But hopefully you found this helpful in just giving you like a brief overview on what you should be focusing on. Definitely let me know what year you are in school right now and what you are focusing on right now. And as I said before, if you enjoyed this video and if you found it helpful, make sure you follow along by subscribing and follow me on Instagram. I'm just always sharing pre-dental tips and also just sharing my dental school experience with all of you. I think it's just really fun to be documenting this kind of crazy time in my life and a very important time in my life as well. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.